Everybody's got a song inside. Everybody's got a sunny side. Sure as every ocean's got a tide. Everybody's got a song inside.
Roland Willet's OMS Stories. That's how I started out our stories for the last 4 years. About 4 years and 3 months ago, Jeff and I committed, although I talked him into it, I committed at the same time to 4 years of doing a radio show, a web radio show. We're currently on our 207th show. I got 207, might be 206. We got a little mixed up somewhere along the way. But we've had an awesome time. And one of the things that we shared during this time was a friendship that continued to grow and grow and grow. And so I want to present something to my friend for our journey. Jeff, this is a rock. It's a nautilus and a rock. Can you tell me a little about a nautilus?
Well, being put in a spot here, I would say that a nautilus is sort of an ancient sea creature that tends to be related to I want to say squid, but it's not quite right. So all I know is that it's got the traditional spiral shape that I often more see when looking at Unix textbooks of all things. And I don't know why you're giving this, but
Okay, now, what does it have when it first starts? It starts very little, right?
That's a spiral.
And what it does, but on the spiral, it continues getting wider. So it's like our journey and our knowledge of the things around us, but it's also our knowledge of each other. Because during this time, we told stories every week about our lives. Find someone else in your life that you've shared information with for 4 years and went over 207 things, different things in your life. You might not even have with your marriage. Because we get it, once we get into it, we're sort of in that spot where you're moving along from that point on. You have the stories that you've lived together, but not the past. Well, Jeff and I have spent 4 years dredging up our past and creating stories as we moved along. Now, Jeff has been the leader in this whole thing too. Jeff took the reins, and he's the one that starts the show. He's the one that ends the show. I have a little preface in there that I throw something in, but Jeff organizes it and keeps it going. And I just sort of tag along and throw a couple comments here and there. But this right here is got depth in it. It's a beautiful, by the way, on this, it's a beautiful stone in itself. It's got, you do not see that depth. See the colors right up there? It's just an awesome piece of artwork. So I'm giving you that. And I'm going on and tell you more about Jeff. Last week, Jeff had the courtesy of doing a no-show on me. I had this whole thing prepared. So I was honored that I gave it in front of the people here at that time. And they helped me with little different aspects of it. And one of the things, Jeff, that I saw was that looking someone in the eye and saying, thank you, was a little strange for me. But I forgot your name. Nick did it to me. And I said, oh, I really like that. So I'm going to do it with Jeff. Okay? Thank you, Jeff. So, looking people straight in the eye and thanking them is uncomfortable for most of us. But when we get up and start speaking now, we're used to scanning and catching people's eyes as we walk around. But an actual talk where you share eye contact, well, uncomfortable. So I learned that in the preparation for a talk with Jeff. Everything about this is a learning experience for me. And for Jeff also, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every week he has to prepare a little conclusion that I put into a little dialogue and then I actually put on a video. I have never published a video, but I have 207 videos for his conclusion speech. And we're getting to the end of the 4 years, and I look and I said, I am really going to miss our relationship going to another phase, because I have had such a wonderful time. And I really enjoyed. Jeff would say, where are you at now? And I'd say, I'm in Lamar, Iowa. I'm in Paducah, Kentucky. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay? I'm in Mountain View, Arkansas. I'm in Branson, Missouri. I could be all. I'm in Florida. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. And Jeff would get to say, he'd always say, where are you at now? And I'd love to have a new surprise for him. So I got a wonderful moment of being able to surprise him at where we're at the next week. So all these things end up is that this 4 years, sharing a moment of the week with Jeff in my life has been absolutely 100% awesome. And you don't see many fat people from Minnesota with a thin China guy from Queens, New York, having a radio show. And a Chinaman and an Irishman. So it's wonderful. We got to look at each other's culture. We got to look at each other's personalities. And we got to see a whole bunch of the things we did alike. In his journey in New York, Queens, I would say, I did that in Minneapolis, because I was raised in Minneapolis. Oh, I did that in Minneapolis. I remember when I went to the library, or I did the other things that Jeff did. And what surprised me was the similar aspects of our life, which, it's like Queens probably has a totally different life. Nah. We had the same stories, a lot of same stories about our parents, but in our relationship with them, that were along similar veins. And we had the same thing where we would travel. Now, I was a city boy and he was a city boy. If I was country, we might have had a lot different. But I was raised in middle Minneapolis, okay? And he was raised in middle Queens. And he was raised, and I'll let you tell I'll let him tell you about his journey. But it was a phenomenal life journey that I got to share in it, and I am so happy. Thank you again, Jeff, my friend.
Sure as every ocean's got a tide, everybody's got a song inside.